So back into hard mode Crusade. This is 12 of 15, the last of the fourth phase. Level 58 all around, and our characters are 54, but supported by a 59 Death Mage. A couple of battles so far, Phoenix and Old Curse, and Vengeance also, dealing a lot of damage to our team. So let's just see if we can match it. Now, we tried this with Death Mage using ultimate straight away, and Monkey using ultimate straight away, to try to be able to just get that team down as quickly as possible. I want Monkey to also put out the shadows as quickly as possible, hopefully the one behind the team, to turn the team and get the damage away from us. We've got Wandering Spearman in there to try to get Monkey back up. If I can get him back up to either the stage he is now, that would be fantastic. Chaplain at the moment is just in for the ride, trying to get a little bit more ultimate. Even if she got the ultimate up to full, I probably wouldn't pop it on this batch. We're really just trying to experiment to see how much damage this team is that we're going up against. And Commando is once again in there to speed up our team, but after she gets off her first shot to be able to slow down their incoming tank, I don't mind using her ultimate as well. It's not a huge ultimate, but it might be just enough to help take down whatever's there. Now, because I'm not going to be using Chaplain, I don't want to use Spearman's ultimate. It's just a waste of health off the Spearman. But his single target heal is so good, I still think he warrants a space in the team. Really just to try and sustain Monkey past this battle. Alright, so let's see how we go. So we're going to try to trigger off our ultimates quickly. Now Monkey got stunned, which is a little bit disappointing. But his ultimate is good enough to be able to make a lot of damage. Now what we have at the moment is Phoenix just about completely down. We're going to get our Skeleton King on the opposition to pop up again. Now that's going to be great because that'll actually just help us get all of our ultimates up a bit further, and especially Death Mage really needs that ultimate further. But so far this is actually looking really good. So good on you, Skeleton King. Pick on one of those. Pick on one of those shadows. Well done, excellent. And we have Monkey and Death Mage with ultimates fully charged, and we have ultimates fully charged across the board. So that was quite an excellent result for our team. So final phase, the last 3 battles. You'll probably see I'm calling them phases because after each of the purple chests you have 3 battles and then another purple chest, and those 3 battles are stages, in the sense that you have 3 battles that are more or less the same, a purple chest, another 3 battles are more or less the same, purple chest, and so forth. And so this last phase, we can have any of these ones with the ability to wipe us out. So 13 can be as tough as 15. In fact, 13 is usually more intense, because by the time we get to 15 we can take out whatever we've got left and then just blast away. We don't have to worry about heals, we don't have to worry about sustaining health to get through the battle. Whereas at 13 and 14, if we can do the same thing as we did last battle, which is get through and get everyone up to full health, that would be awesome. But that takes much more effort than it does to just go, you know what, if I get through with one guy alive, I win. That's just a completely different concept. So let's have a look at the team here. Level 58 team comp, mostly 54s and 53s, and just happens to be supported by a 58 Phoenix. So that's obviously going to just destroy us if Phoenix gets anywhere near to have a go. Monkey King on the other side, first time I've seen one of those ones in this run. because we're actually using the Death Mage and it affects the whole screen, Monkey King's shadows don't really make that much difference. But what it will do is actually distract a little bit from our overall damage. And now, as long as we can actually get rid of the shadow that goes behind us, Old Curse and Succubus are really good counters for Monkey King. However, if the shadow goes behind the team and we can't do anything about it, you have the potential for both Succubus and Old Curse to shoot their ultimates, off the back end of the screen and only hit an image, which would be very awful. Now, because we're actually triggering our ultimates ourselves, we'd have to shoot ourselves in the foot by doing that. So taking on Monkey King with all of his illusions, with Old Curse and Succubus isn't so bad. So 4-star Succubus. This person's really put in a lot of effort to get a huge amount of sustained damage. I'm a bit surprised there isn't an Old Curse in there then. Maybe they're actually just experimenting a bit. Also, Shadow Leaf supporting Monkey King is pretty bad, but the rest is kind of a mix. Shadow Leaf doesn't really have much synergy with Succubus and with Phoenix apart from just being great additions to any team. So it almost looks like it's a physical team comp that has had Succubus and Phoenix dropped in on it. So that said, it's still going to be fairly tough. We can probably even try to go in with the same team comp that we have. We won't need Chaplain though because she's already powered up and ready to go, and I'm not actually expecting to have to use her halfway through this battle. So we'll see if we can actually supplement the team with another character. Who do we want? We'd really like to actually get a really heavy ultimate out. Now the ones that I'd really like to choose, Succubus, a long way from ultimate. Windmaster, also a long way from ultimate. And Pilot, I've really only gotten him up enough to be able to support a physical team. And so I just don't really rate his ultimate, even though it does a lot of damage at the backline. I just don't think it's really going to make an impact as much as something like a Windmaster. Yeah, we'll just give it a go anyway and see what happens. So our plan is come in, fire off both Pilot and Death Mage and Monkey King ultimates as fast as possible, and then just see if we can weather the storm, and hopefully Wandering Spearman can keep Monkey King at the level that he's at, and everyone else just grits on through. So all 3 ultimates off. Oh, far out. I forgot Monkey King as well. So it's Ultimate City. Skull King comes back for a surprise appearance just so that we can get more ultimate juice in there. In the end, it actually turned out to be a fairly quick battle. But wow, look at that. The amount of extra energy that we've got on Pilot and Commando. Just nothing. So that battle actually went a little bit too fast. We just didn't get the good juice out of that battle, and we're actually burning through our resources faster than what we really should be. But then again, we've only got 2 more battles to go. Okay, second last battle, 14 and 15. 54s across the board, some 56s to support. Fairly mediocre team for this level against our own 54 team. So this could actually be a fairly solid team. I know Fallen Dominion does do a lot, but he just doesn't seem to. He just doesn't seem to really, come into his own early on. Like in these hard mode Crusades, when you have Death Mage out the front that has an ultimate ready to go, Fallen Dominion doesn't seem to really make that much difference. A 56 Phoenix is probably going to be a little bit hard to get down, but really the only thing I'm probably that concerned with the team is just that it's just a solid nuggety team that's got a lot of damage, and I'd really like to just outrun them again, which means I need ultimates, and that's something that I'm starting to run out of. So, thank you very much, Pilot. You've done your job. The other thing is that with the commander in the opposition team, it's pretty much guaranteed with that type of team comp that they'd have the stun at max, which means our Monkey King is going to get stunned as soon as he comes in. So he's just not a good option at the moment, especially without his ultimate skill ready to go. Ironhoof is actually a really good counter to Commando, but he is still fairly low on health. This is the second last battle though, so even if Ironhoof dies in this battle, we've got huge amount of resources in the rest of the team comps to be able to put something together to get through the last battle. So Ironhoof's the choice. Wandering Spearman can probably stay in, just see if we can keep Ironhoof alive a little bit. But really, we just need damage. We need lots and lots of damage. I'd really love to have Phoenix charged up and ready to go, because she would be able to get us through these last battles by herself. But in this case, it looks like it's going to be the old Mystic that will just try to give us a big pop. Okay, so triggering Mystic, Death Mage, and Ironhoof pretty much as fast as we can, except we'll probably just wait until Ironhoof's Surge is finished off for his. Here we go for his. And I really should have triggered off Mystics first. That was pretty poor on my part. Okay, so halfway through the battle, we're still having difficulty dropping any of their team. And we're not actually faring very well. I might just try that again and get Mystics out the way a bit earlier. But even like he's already fired off, and we haven't dropped that many team members. Like not as many as what we'd expect by now. And we're just taking lots and lots of damage across the board. All right, let's just try it again anyway, with Mystic firing as quickly as I can. And Ironhoof going off once his support is finished. So we've taken a little bit of damage as well, but by now Death Mage has actually reset already, and is halfway to getting her ultimate back already. We're probably sitting fairly well, especially because we don't mind losing Ironhoof at the front. So let's just play it through and see what happens. We're actually getting a whole lot of damage coming in now from Old Curse, and there is the ultimate from the Phoenix. Okay, so especially because we've lost the Death Mage, we're going to retreat and we're going to rethink this team composition again. Okay, so Fallen Dominion, we really need to get at him fast. Our problem at the moment is that Skeleton King is at the front, so we need Commando to be able to tack him off and then just wail on Fallen Dominion as fast as we can. He's probably even just too tough to be able to get down that fast. But if we don't mind Ironhoof dying, we probably don't even need Spearmen sitting in there. Which means we could possibly even take in some extra frontline damage. And I'm thinking of the old Savage one, really just to try and smash the Fallen Dominion. Let's see if it works anyway. We should be able to at least just observe the first part of the battle. So Skeleton King is still actually sitting at the front, even though Fallen Dominion was supposed to pop out first. Their team comp is still actually relatively intact. The Savage one is actually taking all the damage away from Ironhoof, but that's actually fine, because if I have Ironhoof in the last battle rather than the Savage one, that's going to be better. So I don't even mind if Savage One dies at this point. We're out of ultimates though, so we're really just trying to smash them down before they smash us down. They have a better team comp, so they're probably going to do a better job of it. And there's the Phoenix ult. At this point, even though the team's looking pretty sketchy, I don't need to take in Mystic or Commando or Ironhoof into the last battle. So I'm only really concerned about Deathmage, who already has her ultimate ready to go. So pop an ultimate here, I can easily take out the team, but then I don't have the ultimate at the start of the next battle. What I might try is just, because Phoenix is just about to die, I'm going to try to pop off Commando's ultimate and see if that's just enough to survive. I think she's going to go down anyway, so just get that off quick. So I think we're good to go now. So we're going to use strong. We're going to use Savage One. We've pretty much written off the rest of the team, but our Death Mage will certainly be able to make an appearance in the last round. That's going to be good enough, I'd say. If that was round 13 rather than round 14, I would have definitely had to reset by now. And I may as well use these guys because, as I said, they're not going to make an appearance again anyway. Just interested to see how much support they did. So Mystic, even with his ultimate starting out, couldn't even outdo Ironhoof at the front. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that, but it's a bit hard to read sometimes when you come up against another team how much they're actually able to contribute, and in other ways as well. For example, as a support character, where did his ultimate juice end up on? Did it mean that Death Mage was ready to go earlier? It's a bit hard to say. Okay, final battle. So a final battle, this is actually a little bit interesting. My character is a level 54. The final battle is only against 54s. Now this is usually 58s by now. So my 58 battle was actually at 12 of 15. And 13, 14 and now 15 were actually fairly low. Well, 14 I suppose was the 55s, 56s or so. So 54s all round, a Mystic at 51. But this team comp is once again a whole world of hurt. Succubus and Monkey King heading up the damage meters. If I let Phoenix do anything, she's going to single-handedly destroy my team. And a 4-star Commando. Once again, like at the start, as soon as I see a 4-star character on something like a Commando, I would expect then that they have a high regard for arena team compositions, and they're not going to muck about with the rest of them, which means that I can't assume that Monkey King is going to have anything but full stats, that the blast from Phoenix isn't maxed out, and Succubus is probably going to be maxed as well. So this team comp really still should be dishing out the damage. The only thing is, because it's at my level, my team comp also is, and I should actually be able to go toe-to-toe with this team even without the Death Mage, purely because I can have a team that will be able to pull in a little bit more synergy. For example, all of this team, the Mystic will actually be able to buff most of their abilities, apart from Monkey King sitting there who's physical. So if I go in against this team with a pure physical team, I could probably punch straight through Monkey King really quickly and get to this back line rather quickly. Alright, so we're going to probably even just bother dropping Death Mage. I think I will, just as a thought experiment. So we're going to go in with our own Monkey King and just our typical lineup. Oh no, our Savage One has died. In that case, we're going to go in with our own Skeleton King. He hasn't resurrected yet, so he really should be able to sustain this. In fact, I'd be surprised if this team doesn't punch through in the first go. So we're actually just going to go and just put him on auto and just see what happens. Okay, so halfway through, things are going fairly well. It's a bit hard to tell though because there hasn't been any real ultimates coming out. So this next phase is going to cause the biggest telling factor is how much damage we can do onto that Phoenix before she puts her ultimate off. Okay, not looking good so far, even though Skeleton King's come back. The other team still really has 3 heroes sitting out doing much. Might just carry on a little bit. I'm still happy to reset this, or even if we lose them all, we still have more than enough to take out the remainder. So let's see. Actually, they still have 4 left. I didn't see Mystic hiding in the back there. Yeah, that's fine. I'll let the team go down. So really, just letting that Phoenix ultimate be able to go off kind of spelt the end of the team. I really think that my team would have been able to take out that one with a little bit more planning and possibly a little bit more early, or like just a little bit more health if we went in full. But really, 15 of 15, we've done the damage, and we could pretty much walk through the remainder of this team. Okay, we can kind of just pick almost anyone at the moment. We'll bring in our Death Mage just to speed things up a bit. Really, anyone with enough health and enough ultimate meter to make a difference. I think once again we can just auto this. And things pop pretty quickly. It's really because we had all of our ultimates spared right from the very start that we have such an easy time at the last, or such luxury to be able to just waste a whole team and keep going. Especially matches 12, 13 and 14, and even 11 actually. 11 was quite tricky. And the reason, once again, is that you're looking for a team composition that is able to counter what the opposition is doing and to be able to provide what you're assessing that the opposition is either going to be able to do to your team or that the opposition is weak to, and being able to get through with a fairly sustained team. Now, the trick at the start to have a low team comp to be able to keep the whole Crusade down low and to be able to bring in someone as superior as a Death Mage, a 60 Death Mage, or a 59 Death Mage in this case, certainly helps. But the same techniques can be applied the further and further you go, closer and closer to closing the gap between your level and your team's level. And over the next couple of episodes I'll be trying to do that. I've just passed 60, and now, because I'm using Grand Arena teams, I want my Grand Arena teams to start ramping up. And so I have a lot of gold sitting available, and I have all the heroes pretty much at max level, and so I should be able to push them up by at least a level a day and start getting closer and closer to my team level. For all the characters. And I want to bring up at least the 15 that I've got inside of the Grand Arena, and bring along some of the others just as tag-alongs. Probably won't be too concerned about upping their skills but I want to keep at least those 15 fairly close to max all the way through. Hope you enjoyed the video. If there's questions and comments, stick them down below.